where did you study?
I completed my studies at Stellenbosch University from my bachelor to my PhD degree.
How long you've been in the Czech Republic already?
3.5 going on 4 years now that I've been in the Czech Republic.
Okay, wow, amazing. And do you still remember the first time you came here, like your first impression, feelings?
I do. I arrived in autumn, which I think is a beautiful time of year to be here. And I think within the next day I went into the city centre and into the Old Town Square, and it was really quite an impression that will stay with me for a long time.
Okay, we would like to know why you picked CZU in the Czech Republic to come and work here.
Actually, it was quite a unique decision. CZU has a herd of common eland antelope. They're from Southern Africa, and it was a special or unique experience for me to come and work with that herd hands-on and do intensive studies on the common eland.
Okay, and apart from that, do you know anything about the country or the culture, the language?
Actually, very little. I had been to Europe once or twice, and never into the Czech Republic, so it was my first time landing here was to start my work at CZU.
We want to know, what are your main areas of research? You talked about the elands.
Yes, so I'm located within the Department of Animal Science and Food Processing at the Faculty of Tropical AgriScience. More specifically, I'm an associate professor and researcher in the Animal Physiology and Behavior Research team, led by Dr. Francisco Ciacero. And together we work at mostly at the Common Eland Research Facilities belonging to CZU, as well as the Animal Science Laboratory that our team are working quite intensively there. So our focus, or at least my focus mainly, is looking at improving the productivity and meat quality of both domesticated and undomesticated species, especially underutilized species like African antelope, which includes, of course, the common eland. This involves everything from looking at the physiochemical and sensory quality of the meat, for implementing commercialized strategies for marketing of the products from these underutilized species. And I would say a last but also very important aspect for me, because it's where I started my undergrad research, is investigating the utilization of welfare-friendly animal husbandry techniques for mostly domesticated and undomesticated species. So yeah, in a nutshell, I would say that's my research focus. So as part of the activities from our research team, we've implemented a routine handling, a data collection protocol at the Common Eland Farm. So we go there each month together with our students. At the moment, we have 2 PhD students and at least 4 MSc students that are conducting research there. And we take other MSc students there for training as part of our teaching activities. And they learn how to collect data from the live animals, as well as how to handle and process samples in the lab thereafter. They also receive some basic training in how to monitor animal behavior, so when they go to the field, they know how to implement those protocols.
And so your work is divided in 3 parts. You work most of the time in your office, I guess. Maybe.
I'm not sure about most of the time in the office, but I think being a researcher, you have this kind of multifaceted aspect. So yeah, particularly with the biological sciences. So I'm in my office when I'm teaching and when I'm writing or working with students. And then we have our research activities that are going on between the lab and the farm, of course, and they're quite interchangeable. So we have our team of students mostly focused in the lab. Yeah, so I'm kind of moving between those 3 places quite frequently.
And what do you think about the working environment in CZU?
I enjoy my position at the Faculty of Tropical AgriSciences. We're a very young, dynamic and developing faculty, which has really opened some opportunities for example, developing our animal science lab.
So, as an international researcher who came from South Africa to the Czech Republic, you may have faced some obstacles and, I don't know, issues. So maybe you could tell us about it.
Yeah, I would say maybe one of the biggest obstacles coming from South Africa to the Czech Republic is the administration. And of course, not speaking Czech very well, or not at all when I arrived actually, that added some like extra aspect to the administration. And if I have to put it from a humorous perspective, I had to learn how to navigate the public transport system because I never had to do that in South Africa, and I had very limited experience elsewhere. So that was quite an interesting and entertaining obstacle moving here, for sure.
And now, how is it with your Czech? Can you speak a little Czech now?
It's improved. When I decided that I wanted to stay here for a little bit more long term, I started to take some basic language courses. The university offers some beginner Czech lessons. I would recommend that to anybody who wants to stay here for a little bit more time. It really helps with some communication.
So apart from the obstacles, are there any advantages that you would like to talk about being in the Czech Republic or in CZU?
Definitely. I think from the perspective of being an international researcher, you have the perfect position here to grow your network, particularly within the faculty, to grow as an independent researcher. I arrived as a postdoc, and I feel really happy with the progress that I've made in that aspect. I think also from the other hand, being an international researcher, you can bring new perspectives as well to the table. So I think it works both ways in terms of advantages.
What advice, finally, would you give to new incoming international researchers? Because we have a big network here, and people are always coming to the Czech Republic and to CZU for the research. So maybe you could give them some advice.
I think what's a really great initiative is to have this welcome center for international scholars, and I would highly recommend that you would be in contact as soon as possible with the welcoming center. I think that in terms of an administrative point of view, it's really beneficial. I would also advise to look at social media and website platforms. There's a lot of information available for expats, a lot of communities as well, that you can meet up with international researchers as well. From a more general perspective, I would say to be open-minded and persevere through the obstacles that you might have, because it's worth it. And also to explore the Czech Republic and explore local cultures. That is probably one of my biggest advices.
Okay, what about the fact that the Czech Republic is like in the center of Europe, so you can travel to any place you want? It's close and visit the whole continent?
Yes, definitely. That was one of my objectives by coming here as well. It's very centrally located, so you have access for travel, but this is also great for networking and attending conferences. As a researcher, of course, that's beneficial. The COVID pandemic did throw a spanner in the works for my plans to do some traveling, but now I'm trying to explore the rest of Europe.
Nice. So have you had the chance to go to, I don't know, Germany or any other country?
Yeah, I have. I spent some time in Germany, mostly work-related, down into Slovenia, Slovakia, Hungary, Croatia, mostly by biking. There's great opportunities to do that here. And of course, I've been also to the Netherlands, but that was related to my MSc studies when I was still an undergraduate. But yeah, I hope to expand that even a little bit further this summer.
Well, that's great. You already traveled a lot, I think. It's amazing. So thank you very much for being here today and for giving your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was great to talk to you.